We're in the M section, which a few years ago we were in 2E right at Air France, but apparently Delta's been moved down to this new terminal. Looks new, I don't know if it is new, where Delta occupies most of the gates. So the train ride was easy enough once we were through security, but it was a hike to get from check-in to security because they said, well, if you're at M gate, you have to go to the next security checkpoint. We had Sky Priority, so it made it easy, but it was still a walk for the girls. So we're at M47. And there is a lounge, a Sky Lounge, at that end of the building where you come out. So, not a bad thing. We're now boarding. It's in Air France. Our plane is on the left, but they've got all the shutters pulled. We're waiting for one more security check. Yes.
Oh, you're taking the picture of the plane?
Yes.
Okay, none of my coworker there.
Ah, okay, I'll put it away. Well, we're boarding on time. I didn't get extra check, which was nice. $7J. Set J. 7J. Merci.
Oh, good morning. Also on the other side.
So Delta 1, and I'm back on the left. Thank you.
Sorry. Oh, no.
So, first class cabin.
No.
Herringbone design. Seat 7G. Get my own overhead. Quite nice. Big screen. Lots of overhead space. We're boarded, they're loading the luggage. They included some sandals, an M&T kit, orange juice or champagne. It's wet weather, April showers bring May flowers. This aircraft is definitely dated because the screens on the newer A330 are 21 inches, so it's not as big. This isn't new, but it's much more comfortable than being in coach, so thank goodness. There's the Delta One menu. I ordered from the app. There was two specialties. One was chicken that is local, and I thought, why not? I'm leaving, so might as well have one more French meal. There's a lot of food served in first, so I may pass on a couple things because there's like a pre-flight or mid-flight meal of a hamburger. I'm like, no. So let's see. Warm mixed nuts. There's some prawns or shrimp, coconut soup, mixed green salad. Soup for entrees, chicken, and then principal plates. I think I ordered the escalier de plate and some dessert items, wines. It's very nice. Remote controls, seat controls.
Dobbiamo vouloir les placer dans l'un des compartiments en insérant les roues ou les poignées en premier afin de permettre de ranger le plus de bagages possible. Pour votre sécurité, les appareils électroniques volumineux tels que vos ordinateurs portables doivent être rangés avant le départ face le siège devant vous. Dans l'un des compartiments bagages supérieurs, ces objets ne peuvent pas être rangés dans les pochettes de siège et après le décollage, vous pouvez utiliser ces appareils à nouveau. Nous vous remercions pour votre attention et vous souhaitons la bienvenue à bord.
Apple, I think they have some camera issues. With Android S24, did not have so many issues with close-up or focusing, even with a raindrop-covered window. They just landed. They're extending the jetways and plugging everything up. Enjoy your stay in France.
And keep it fastened whenever you're seated in case of sudden rough air. In the event of rough
we're
air,
headed out.
you might also need to buckle up for safety. We appreciate your understanding if our service is interrupted.
Federal regulations require all passengers to comply with all crew members' instructions, along with the posted placards and lighted information signs throughout the cabin. Smoking, vaping, the use of e-cigarettes or any smokeless product, including chewing tobacco, is not allowed on any Delta flight. Federal law prohibits tampering with, disabling, or destroying restroom smoke detectors.
There are 8 exits on this plane. 8 doors, 4 on each side. 6 doors have detachable slides that can be used as ramps. The 2 smaller doors behind the wings have detachable slides that can be used for flotation. In the event of an evacuation, leave all bags behind. Carry-in baggage will slow the evacuation. All exits are clearly marked with an exit sign. Locate the nearest exits, and remember, they might be behind you. If we lose power, lights will illuminate the aisles to guide you to an exit.
It's unlikely, but if cabin pressure changes, oxygen masks will drop from the panels above your seat and inside the lavatories. Reach up and pull a mask or streamer down to start the flow of oxygen. Remove any face covering and place the mask over your nose and mouth. Slip the elastic strap over your head and adjust the mask if necessary. Breathe normally and note the oxygen is flowing, so don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
A water evacuation is also unlikely, but just in case, life vests are in a compartment beneath or adjacent to your seat. To use, remove the vest from its container by pulling on the tab and then opening the pouch. Slip the vest over your head, wrap the strap around your waist, attach it to the buckle in front, and adjust securely around your waist. As you leave the plane, inflate the vest by pulling down on the red tab at the bottom, or manually inflate it by blowing into the tube at shoulder level. A water-activated light is attached to each vest. For children under 35 pounds, place the vest around their waist and secure the strap between the legs. See your safety card for more information. Additional life vests for in-lab children are in marked compartments at the front and rear of the plane. We'll distribute these vests if necessary.
Before we take off, bring your seat to its upright position and stow your tray table, leg rest, and footrest. Be sure you fastened your seatbelt low and tight across your lap, carry-on items secured, and armrests are at resting position, or as otherwise indicated on the placard in front of you. Finally, take a moment to review the safety information card in your seat pocket.
As we finish our safety check, please let us know if you have any questions.
As we take off into the future, sit back and relax. And from all of our crew, thank you for flying with Delta, today and for the next 100 years.
Thank you for paying attention to this important safety message.
Just one take off.
Yeah.
flight deck. We're almost to the end of the runway at this time, flight attendants. Please prepare the cabin for our departure.
our global airline partners, thank you for helping us celebrate 100 years of flight. Our priority on this flight is a safe, clean, and comfortable experience for you. For your safety, please stay seated with your seatbelt securely fastened in case we experience unexpected rough air. Please use caution when opening overhead bins as items may have shifted during takeoff, and keep the aisle clear of any potential trip hazards like bags or bag straps. Federal regulations require all customers to comply with crew instructions and prohibit the use of cellular networks during flight. The use of Wi-Fi to make voice or video calls is not allowed. Information on approved electronic devices can be found on the safety information card in your seat pocket. The lavatories are refreshment throughout the flight. If you notice an untidy lavatory, please let a flight attendant know. Fast-free Delta Sync Wi-Fi is available on today's flight for SkyMiles members. If you're not yet a SkyMiles member, it's fast-free and easy to join. Connect to the deltawifi.com network to get started. Even when the seatbelt sign is off, please keep your seatbelt fastened while seated in case of unexpected rough air. We'll begin our dining experience shortly and are pleased to offer a variety of complimentary Coca-Cola beverages. Please note that federal regulations prohibit consuming any alcohol you might have brought on board with you. Before landing in Detroit, we'll offer a light meal and additional beverages. Additional snacks are available in between services in the back of the aircraft. If there's anything that we can do to make you feel more at home, please don't hesitate to ask. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy your 8-hour and 10-minute flight to Detroit.
Nous vous souhaitons la bienvenue à bord. Au nom de Delta, notre partenaire aérien, nous vous remercions de nous aider à célébrer une centaine d'années en vol. Notre priorité pour vous est une expérience saine, propre et confortable. Pour votre sécurité, nous vous demandons de rester assis avec vos ceintures de sécurité bien attachées en cas de turbulence imprévue. Nous vous prions de faire attention en ouvrant les coffres à bagages, car des objets peuvent s'être déplacés pendant le décollage, et de dégager les sacs et leurs sangles des allées principales pour éviter les risques des chutes. Les réglementations.
To watch, I'm not sure. Some of them are old, like Harry Potter. One's interesting with Reese Witherspoon. There was a movie with a guy about 8 years ago that did a movie called Into the Wild, and she's done something similar. So I may watch it. It looks like inspirational. We are encountering some turbulence. It's not too bad, but it is shaking the cabin a little bit. 1 out of 10. Actually flew north from Paris to the top of England and then past the North Sea. We're still headed a little bit north and probably turn west to head across the top past New York and then on to Detroit. Fish is a local specialty of France. Salad. Those were prawns. I ate them before a video. Tomato soup, biscuit with some bread, and poisson fish. And my Woodford Reserve and Coke. Looks like a very nice meal. So, time to see the choice. Or ice cream choice. Cheeses, and then a lemon sort of pudding. pizza or hamburger. I've had enough hamburger to last a lifetime. So I'm gonna opt for the pizza. There is a dessert. I also grabbed a couple of bags of chips up front that were in the snack tray. And some world famous pistachio nuts. You get 10 nuts instead of 6 like in Coach. Anyway, pizza cheese. We're about 2 hours, well, actually about an hour and a half away from arrival. I'm having a Woodford and Coke. And I'm looking forward to a hot piece of pizza. So, flight's going great. We've had some turbulence, but nothing to get excited
Votre
about.
tablette et puis c'est les accoudoirs côté couloir. Si votre siège est équipé d'un moniteur vidéo qui se déploie depuis l'accoudoir, il doit aussi être rangé. Les issues de secours sur cet avion sont identifiées par un symbole vert et les flèches indiquent la direction des sorties. Nous vous prions de bien vouloir ranger les appareils électroniques de grande taille, comme les ordinateurs portables, dans un sac sur le siège ou en vous dans un coffre à bagages. Ils ne doivent pas être rangés dans les pochettes du siège. Vous pouvez continuer à utiliser les appareils mobiles à condition qu'ils soient rangés ou gardés correctement. Enfin, veuillez vérifier autour de votre siège s'il reste des gobelets ou tout autre objet que vous souhaitez jeter et les remettre au personnel de bord pendant que nous passons dans la cabine. Nous allons bientôt atterrir. Merci.
Wow, talk about a delicious treat. Pizza smells wonderful, great presentation. Was not expecting those vegetables and a dessert snack. What a terrific way to end the flight. Delta continues to do it right.
Votre tablette et puis c'est les accoudoirs côté couloir. Si votre siège est équipé d'un moniteur vidéo qui se déploie depuis l'accoudoir, il doit aussi être rangé. Les issues de secours sur cet avion sont identifiées par un symbole vert et les flèches indiquent la direction des sorties. Nous vous prions de bien vouloir ranger les appareils électroniques de grande taille, comme les ordinateurs portables, dans un sac sur le siège ou en vous dans un coffre à bagages. Ils ne doivent pas être rangés dans les pochettes du siège. Vous pouvez continuer à utiliser les appareils mobiles à condition qu'ils soient rangés ou gardés correctement. Enfin, veuillez vérifier autour de votre siège s'il reste des gobelets ou tout autre objet que vous souhaitez jeter et les remettre au personnel de bord pendant que nous passons dans la cabine. Nous allons bientôt atterrir. Merci.
where the local time is 12:36 p.m. Please stay seated with your seatbelt fastened and carry-on items stowed until the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign. Be careful when opening overhead bins to avoid injury from items that may have shifted during flight, and please ensure you have all of your personal belongings before deplaning. As we reach our gate, we invite you to use the Fly Delta app for important baggage and connection information. For customers requesting a wheelchair on arrival, we will advise you upon reaching the gate when assistance is available to disembark the aircraft. You may receive an email asking you to share your feedback. We value and use your responses to improve your future travel experiences. On behalf of this Detroit-based crew, thank you for helping us celebrate 100 years in flight. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a wonderful day.
We are on an active taxi. We do need all customers to remain seated with your seatbelt fastened. If you have a lap child, they do need to remain in your lap, secured by your arms. Please keep everything, children, out of the aisle. The aircraft will have to stop if all customers are not seated and lap children are not secure.
Mesdames, Messieurs, nous souhaitons la bienvenue à Détroit, où l'heure locale est midi 38. Nous vous demandons de rester assis avec votre ceinture de sécurité attachée et vos bagages rangés jusqu'à l'arrêt complet de l'appareil et l'exception des consignes lumineuses. Nous pouvons aussi être prudents en ouvrant les compartiments à bagages supérieurs car des objets puissent se déplacer pendant notre atterrissage. Et nous vous demandons aussi de vous assurer de n'avoir rien oublié à bord avant de descendre de l'avion. Nous vous invitons à utiliser l'application Fly Delta pour des informations concernant vos bagages et vos vols de correspondance. Pour les passagers qui ont demandé une chaise roulante, nous vous demandons de rester jusqu'à la fin de débarquement et nous allons vous informer dès que votre assistance sera disponible pour vous aider à descendre de l'avion. Pour y recevoir un courriel de la part de Delta vous demandant vos impressions concernant ces vols, nous apprécions vos commentaires et nous utilisons vos réponses pour améliorer vos expériences de voyage à venir. Au nom de votre équipage basé à Détroit et Minneapolis, nous vous remercions d'avoir choisi Delta pour votre voyage et d'avoir célébré avec nous une centaine d'années dans les airs avec Delta. Nous vous souhaitons une bonne après-midi à Détroit et une bonne continuation si vous êtes en correspondance.